So if you ready for your next artist, let me hear you say yeah. Make some noise, y'all, for Corey Riotz. Hey, hey, hey. You're a little taller than me, bro.
Metro, don't trust you. I'm gonna shoot you.
Get into it. This piece is called Ebony's Army. See, black is beautiful, and I would never trade my color for another. But I'm convinced that I can't trust the others or my brothers. So it's real hard for me to stand here screaming Black Lives Matter when genocide became a cycle since that crack pipe shattered. And it's so hard to show the world the proof of black girl magic when love and hip hop made the world think all the black girls ratchet. You see this shit that flooded the culture with pharmaceutical drugs and bottle service at clubs and giving praise to the plugs. They say they love the hood, but they ain't repping it properly. Claiming they love the block, but have yet to buy up the property. They're influenced by these actors who lie and pretend as if those gangsters in those movies never died in the end. This drug culture celebrates the one who turns to the scale. As if we don't have family out here burning in hell each time they burn and inhale, handing their money to the dealer that he earns from the sale, just to exchange that for the jumpsuit that he earns in his cell. And he faces the moment where he runs out of time for repentance, and the jury tells the judge just how they find the defendant, and he spends the time of his sentence being treated like a pet dog, subjected to those mess halls, those fences, and collect calls. And by the time he wisens up and gets tired of prison, he can't get a decent job because of his prior convictions. See, Malcolm tried to warn us right before he passed, right? And Plymouth Rock landed and we smoked it through a glass pipe. The slave mentality keeps us in chains with padded locks, while cops pull automatic weapons at a traffic stop. And as they continue killing these sisters and brothers of ours, we throw up signs and shed blood over the colors of scars, while all these mothers are scarred and all these fathers are absent. All the homies is dead, we speak about them in past tense. So this Black Lives Matter movement strikes me as a phase, because how our rappers for the world and lose their life where they were raised. You realize what this industry has come to in hip-hop? We glamorize what led us to those jumpsuits and flip-flops. We idolize the hustler, and since that was the case, now all these junkies mumble rap with senseless tats on their face. And they step on that stage, they jump around and lie in your face with puppet strings around their necks to keep their diamonds in place. The agenda is attached in every word in their bars, and IG models who get tasked to hide the surgery scars. Teaching our women that they need injections for their imperfections, or to climb the stripper pole until they reach the centerfold. It's like the one who's made of plastic is the baddest, and everything is fake, from their lashes to their asses. How can our people focus on the topic of the enemy if we haven't dealt with toxic masculinity? We don't deal with the pain. We don't deal with the pain. We don't deal with the self-hatred. Brothers posting bail, sisters posting themselves naked. See, the truth is, we've committed crimes that keep us in this mental prison. We sold drugs to our ghettos and we pimped our women. Like it's okay to treat each other like we're savages, but if someone else does it, we'll boycott your whole establishment. Y'all seen Colin Kaepernick and that wall that they had his back against due to the peaceful protest demonstrated as an activist? We act like we're just waiting for some change to happen someday. But everybody's still watching the football games on Sunday. But I guess the Super Bowl was way too hard to resist, but we'll complain when cops kill us and get their charges dismissed. I don't know who was worse. Was it the brother selling the crack rock or the racial injustice that was ignored by the black cop? And not all cops are bad, that goes without question, but I never heard a cop tell his partner to holster his weapon. There is no question that systematic oppression is real. Fear for my life is an excuse for an intentional kill. But I'm also aware the media will trigger emotions with the intent to spread the hate which caused the bigger commotion. As we jump in the comments and argue like fools, I must admit this was one hell of a marketing tool. I'll sparkle some fuel to fire up emotions that are full of triggers until the hatred overflows and we start pulling triggers. Trapped in this hell without a ladder or rope as we go back and forth about the lives that matter the most. See, this is called social engineering. You see, they've mastered this. Explain the video, but only show you half the clip. They watch you when you think you Google search in private. That's why you're seeing all those advertisements. The whole nation's getting violent. Ignorance divides the public and they love it. It's the perfect way for them to keep the public as their puppets. So understand this country runs off this bigotry and intolerance. But yeah, black people, we have played our part in this. But for the sake of argument, let's say the system was to treat us different. Is that enough to redirect our hatred for our pigment? Will we support and treat each other like we're human beings, or will the homies kill each other and blame it on the Europeans? And I know that black on black crime is not an excuse, but at some point they taught us how to tie the knot on this noose and we started hanging each other. You gotta change for your brother. You gotta change for your sister. So listen, we can march till your feet have started to blister, but if we don't play our part and take heed to the bigger picture and start addressing the toxic behaviors in the cavalry, in all reality, we're just marching to burn the calories. So understand this isn't checkers, it's chess. We keep waiting for them to change things, we'll never progress. And in the minds of black people, we ain't made it in life unless we wake up in the suburbs where our neighbors are white. And that says a lot about our sense of unity when we're afraid to raise our children in our own communities. Don't get me wrong, I understand how the bad cards were dealt. I know our backs been covered with scabs, scars, and welts. I would love to see us rise against buzz cuts and badges and show the world we're far beyond thugs, sluts, and addicts. But if I got shot today and my soul left for departure, 9 out of 10, my killer's probably my complexion or darker. And I don't like to come to terms with that, and I try to stray away from it, and I tried to, but I came into terms with this my freshman year in high school. Too many moments of silence over the intercom for fallen classmates who never got to make it to the prom. So I grew up thinking being black was irrelevant. I'll confess, because all the enemies I faced had melanin on their flesh. So I don't care if you black, white, yellow, blue, because there are many of my people who still act like devils too. Because once the marching ceases, then it's back to the usual. Back bodies dropping, families wearing black at the funeral, and still, black is still beautiful. So I would never trade my color for another. But I'm convinced that I can't trust the others or my brothers. Thank you.